All right, guys, welcome to our team call. Make sure you're tagging everyone and they know we're on here live with one of my dear friends, Hilari Courtney, tonight. And I'm so excited to share her with you. And I'm going to let her share her story for those of you that are new and you may never have heard her story yet. And certainly those of you watching the recording that haven't heard her story yet. But I want to tell you what I love about her. First and foremost, she is a woman of faith, huge heart for the Lord. She is just one of those people that you meet her and you want to be her friend. She has four beautiful kids, a wonderful husband who's been incredibly helpful to Scott and I as well. They are really a phenomenal team together. And we just have a ton in common. And when I met her, immediately I was drawn to her. And what I respect about her 12 years later is she still does all the same things that we tell you to do. She doesn't tell anyone to do anything she's not doing herself. She is full of integrity and does things that, people think top leaders, don't work anymore. That is just not true. That is just not true. Hilari is one of the hardest working people I know. So I'm so excited to share her with you tonight. So Hilari, first of all, thank you for your time and being here for us tonight.
Yeah, sure. Hey, everybody. And yeah, no problem. I'm excited to be on. I know a lot of you guys, but some of you I've never met before. So yeah, I'll share our stories. So like Cindy said, we've actually, this end of this month, we'll have been with the company for 18 years. So forever, it feels like. So yeah, before Isogenics, my background is in finance. That's what I went to school for. And then had a corporate career and knew very quickly that that was not going to be my home forever. I told my husband, I'm just like, there's no way God created me to work in a cubicle. Not that that's a bad thing, but for me, it was not a fit. I felt like it like sucked the soul out of me. So if any of you have a career where you are in it and you're like, this cannot be the plan for my life, this is why I love Isogenics. It's a backup plan for so many people, and it becomes their plan A. And so I started praying for an answer. A friend of mine called me about a company, and I joined that company. I did that for 5 years. It allowed me to leave that corporate job. But I realized really quickly that it was more direct sales. And so I went from kind of the corporate hamster wheel to what I say is the direct sales hamster wheel. And it was not network marketing. That's a totally different concept. And so I started, praying again, like, all right, Lord, this can't be what I'm supposed to do. And so a friend emailed me and just said, hey, I have this opportunity. I think you'd really love it. So I live in a little tiny town of like 300 people in Nebraska. So I flew to Salt Lake City and I looked at the opportunity. And what I was most impressed by was the culture. That everyone was willing to help each other, whether we were financially linked or not, that people who didn't even know me were like, oh my gosh, we'll help you. Like, what do you need? And also, like, there were like 200 people there, you guys, and everybody had a product testimony, whether it was someone younger, someone older, someone for building lean muscle, someone with weight loss, like no matter what, everyone could use the product. And that was super impressive to me, that it was for men, women, young, old, everyone. And so I caught the vision of the compensation right away at that event. And I remember calling my husband because we got to the point in our lives where like he had taken on a job because of what I had decided to do in my other career. And, we just like were passing ships is what I tell people. Like he worked from 5 in the morning till 5 at night and he drove an hour to work. So he'd come home, go to bed. Like it just was not what I thought married life was going to be. And so, when I started looking at this, he was like, oh, it's just the same. So if you guys have ever done network marketing before or direct sales or anything like that, and this is like not your first company, um, it's not the same as everything else. And if this is your only company, like, praise the Lord. Because I feel like, for the amount of work you put in here compared to other places, we can earn so much more here. And so, I came home from there and I tell people I was like ignorance on fire. I just started talking to everybody I could. And the Lord has really blessed us, and our business, has grown. We've had incredible leadership on our team, and we've just got great people who, want to make an impact. And that's really what it's about. Like, if you want to help people, you know, you're going to do well. That's why Cindy, and Scott do well here. Like, when the focus is, how can I help my people earn something versus myself, or how can I help my people be able to do that versus myself? And in this business, you'll do really, really well because that's what it takes. So yeah. And in that meantime, you guys, we've had 4 babies. I had no kids when I started Isogenics, and now my children are 17, 15, 11, and 10. So it's insane. But it's all good and life's good.
That's great. And share with everyone, you kind of shared what your why was in the beginning. What is it now after 18 years? What is your why now? Because I know that that's something that I work with people all the time, that they have to be very clear on their why. Some people are not even money motivated. So if they're not money motivated, what is their why? So share with everybody, how has that changed for you over the years?
Yeah, I mean, when I came in, it was definitely I needed to replace an income, right? And so with the company I was with, I got paid for 30 days when I decided to do isogenics. So it was like, you get paid for 30 days, you have no money. So it was very clear what our why was when we started. But then right away it became, okay, how could, my mom was the elementary principal and she wanted to be able to leave her job. She just had been there a long time. And so I said, hey, look, because I got pregnant 6 weeks into isogenics with our first, and it doesn't make you pregnant, but for the first 7 years, I was pregnant the whole time. And so I told my mom, like, look, I'll help you be able to replace your income if you'll help me with the kids when I travel and stuff. And she was like, sure. So my first goal, like outside of replacing an income, was helping her to be able to leave her job. And then when we did that, I was like, oh, I could do that for Justin too. So I helped Justin be able to replace his income. And then now, a long time ago, somewhere along the way, it became, really just giving back and missions. And that really is why I do what I do at this point. Like, we have certain goals that we want to hit. And when we hit those, these things happen. And so, yeah, I mean, missions is probably my biggest thing that we do now outside of stuff in our own house. And that's what really gets me excited, because so many people need help and we're so overly blessed here in the United States and we don't even realize it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what is your primary focus for building? I want to get into action. So what do you focus on? Are you focusing on in-home events, coffees, one-on-ones, Zooms? Share with everybody what that looks like, because you're one of the few top leaders I know that has to travel as far as you do to do meetings and events, and you still do networking groups every single week. So share what that looks like for us.
Yeah, and it does look different. And we do choose to live where we do, which is like 40 miles from a Walmart. Like, we live really far out in the middle of nowhere. But I really like it here. And so, but like Saturday, I had a meeting with a doctor. Cindy, she was like a prospect, and she was in Kansas City, so that was 2 hours each way. So I went and met with her Saturday night at 5:30. She enrolled and she's gonna be great. So we're excited about that. But it's just really like, I've kind of always had this mantra, whatever it takes, like whatever it takes. So I do lots of Zooms, we do lots of coaching with our team, because I can enroll people, through, like you said, the networking groups. I do a lot of stuff on my social media. And you guys, my social media is not pretty. It's just my life. Like, I'm not like a scheduled do this and have these pretty graphics. If I have pretty graphics, I stole them from someone else. Like, none of my stuff is original. It's just be consistent. So like, I always tell our team, like, if I looked at your social media, and you don't have to be great at it, like, would I know you're in isogenics? Like, would I know that? Because we had a lady reach out, and she said she was with someone in Isogenics who's on our team, and she said, is she not doing it anymore? And I'm like, yeah, she's an executive who still makes a six-figure income. And she goes, oh, you would never know that from her social media. And so I just think, like, does it look like your lights on? Because, I want something, if I'm going to go eat somewhere, I want a restaurant with consistent hours. So I know when I show up, somebody's going to be there. And I think that's the same thing with this. So I am very consistent on my social media. Um, I do a lot of stuff in person, like Cindy said. I work really, really hard to build depth. So like, if I enroll Valerie, I'm asking Valerie, who do you know? And I'm trying to then meet with her people. And so like, this doctor that I've been working with, her name is Sonia. I did a presentation for her last week at like 10:30 in the morning, because we knew we could get a different kind of group of women than do it in the evening. And then when those people came, I scheduled in-homes with those women. So that was like my 2 PT, and I scheduled the in-home to go do those, so that I can build the depth of our organization. Because we enroll like 4 a month consistently, and we've done that for a long, long time. And it's always just different people. I mean, but and just showing up, you guys show up online, show up in person. for all the things and use the product everywhere you go. That's one major thing for us with the 4 kids. We are involved in lots of activities. So I take the bars, I take the Bia e-shots with me everywhere I go. I make my shake and I take it with me to the track meets. And so, people are asking, hey, what is it? What are you taking or what are you using? And I really try to use as many of the tools, Cindy, that the company offers us, like videos and stuff, so that it's very duplicatable. Um, but yeah, just continuing to show up. Even when sometimes, like, we had a tornado warnings on Saturday, that probably wasn't very smart. My husband was not very happy. And I'm like, I have to go to this meeting. This doctor's canceled like twice. I have to go to the meeting. And he was like, you're out of your mind. So, I'm like, so I drove to Kansas City. We ended up spending the night there. That's how bad the weather was. We couldn't get back home. But, so it's just, I think a lot of people aren't willing to do. They want to do it if it's easy. Honestly, you guys, like, think about, like, if you say to yourself, like, your wife might be able to be home with your children. So, you have to make whatever it might be, 40,000 a year, 60,000 a year, whatever that is. And then think, am I showing up? If I was the employer, would I pay somebody for what I'm doing? And I think a lot of people like, I want to make this much a year. But if you really look, you worked like 4 hours last week. You might have thought about working, or you might have been in your back office or watching some videos. But were you actually reaching out to people, following up with people, coaching people, doing the work that it takes to produce income? And if not, you have to start doing those things. And that's the conversation I have with myself every day. My calendar is my boss. If I look at my calendar, man, it doesn't have on it, enough activity, then I take responsibility for that. And I start calling through my people. Hey, Cindy, if I come to a sip and sample, could you get 5 to 6 people together? And if she's like, no, I don't want to, I call one of Cindy's people and I say, hey, Scott, do you think you could get 5 or 6 people together if I come to a sip and sample? We have a great new, you know, joint support coming out, or this brand new, or mocha shakes coming back, like whatever that may be, and get them excited.
So sip and sample wise, is it always the same, or do you do different style parties in people's homes? Do they all kind of look the same?
They look pretty similar, because I always tell the people it's not for you, it's for the new people coming. So you might think like Dana, if I've done like 5 for you, you might think, well, this is the same thing as last time. I don't care. It's not for you. It's for the new people that you have coming. So it's new for them. I mean, but we do different ones. We'll do sweat and sample. One of our girls, Lisa Davis, does that a lot. She just did one Saturday and people came to her house. They all worked out together and then they tried the products afterward. And we'll do collagen and cocktails. We'll do different little kind of tweaks on them. But it's the general idea is we show the core products. We show, you share, they share. We always draw it out like on it when I'm there. At least we draw it out on like a big post-it note board or poster paper. And then we let people sample the products.
And then what do you do about getting enrollments that night? Do you hand out enrollment forms? Do you send
Yes,
links?
yes.
How do you do
No.
that?
I'm super old school. I like, if I go in to buy a car, you guys went out and I'm trying to buy a car from you, or even something smaller, you're not like, oh, go home and think about it. And here's a QR code to buy that car, or here's a QR code if I'm getting my hair done. And my lady says, like, you need this conditioner. She's not like, think about it. And then if you want it, get a QR code and order it. Like, and you can do whatever you want because it's your business. But I want to be in control of, if I did all the work to do the appointment, you're enrolling when I'm with you. So we make order forms. You can get them, I think, on Sound Concepts or whatever it's called now, Shop Isogenics. But we make our own that just have the basic packs, or the packs that we enroll a lot with, and we have those with us. So like when I did the meeting Saturday night in Kansas City, I didn't drive 4 hours round trip in a storm for her to say, let me think about it. Like, I'm like, these are the systems. You have a 30-day money back guarantee. This is the one I recommend. Let's go ahead and pick your flavors. And I just assume they're going to do it. And it's your posture, you guys. Even when I was new, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, like not a clue. And that was my posture. And like, if I'm coming all the way here or doing these meetings, people are going to enroll. I don't give people a bunch of samples because personally, I believe you can sample it for 30 days and get your money back if you don't like it. So that's how we do it.
Yeah, I've done both. And for a while there, we did, and we had some success with QR codes.
Mhm.
We did a multi-vendor, like we would have many of us there and everyone would have their own QR codes. So
Mhm.
your guests would take pictures. That worked for a while, but we're back to old school too. So that's interesting. Awesome.
Yeah, and I think it works, Cindy, whatever works for you. So if you
Yeah.
guys are doing that, like we have some hairdressers, and what we've done on their enrollment forms is we've created those custom cards, and then beside, like, for example, if it's got like a 6 pack of collagen, beside it, it has a QR. Or if we got a 4 box of collagen, beside it, there's a QR. And at the bottom, it has where I was looking at my desk to see if I have one laying here, but I don't. But it's got where they can put in their information. So like if I'm doing your hair and I can tell that you're going to scan it and do it right there in the chair, I'll have you do the QR. Otherwise, I'll say just fill out the bottom. And
Yeah.
so whatever is working best for you. I just found when I sent out a lot of carts, like I'm a super busy mom. And so I don't fill things out necessarily right away. And so, I just didn't know if others would either. So that's why we do it that way.
Yeah, and we've had people that send carts out and then they get no reply back and then they fall off the face of the earth. So if you are sending out carts, you really need to do a good job following up with people. When we had most success with our QR codes, we were helping people take pictures and do it right there on the spot. And we had an incredibly successful event doing just that. So there is a sense of urgency, and I think that's something that you've really explained well for us tonight. So how do you broach the business then at your sip and samples? Are you out? So you share, they share every time. So people are always hearing how they can get their products paid for at every event you do.
Yep. Even at the doctor's office, I do a meeting there twice a month for her patients. We show the products and then I pull out my big tear off board and I just simply say, our number one sold pack is our 30-day reset. I showed you all the reasons why it's such an amazing system. And I just say, this is going to replace 56 meals for you. That's always still the base pack we show on our order forms. We have the value pack and we show the bigger packs, but I just like this one just for the basics. And I just say, what would you say you pay per meal, Bonnie? And Bonnie says $10. And I'm like, okay, great. $10 at 56 meals is 560. And I draw that. I say, this is only going to cost you 320. So I write save in great big letters and I write save $200. Great. You're going to save over $200. And then I just say, hey, Bonnie, tell me where you buy your groceries. And she says, whatever, Walmart. And I say, okay, great. When you check out of Walmart, imagine checking out. And as you're going through the line, the teller tells you that if you bring in 2 friends in the next 30 days, you're going to get half to all of your grocery money back. What would you do? And everybody says, well, we'd bring 2 people. And I say, that's just how this works. It's just referring. And so we draw out, you share, and then I draw, they share. And I show them how, this is enough money to pay for this month's order and next month's order. So the company's giving you away that your first 2 months is completely free just from sharing with a couple people you love. And they're like, oh, well, that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And I don't go into more than that typically. We'll have people after it say, hey, there's got to be more to that. Show me more. So, sometimes we'll stay and explain more of what it is and that kind of thing. But I always, 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 always show you, share, they share. I don't care if they tell me like, I just want the shake. I don't care about the business. I don't want to know about the money. I just say, okay, if you bought this at GNC or if you bought this at Whole Foods, and they give you half your money back, would you want to know how? Yes. And so I show it to everybody because I've had a lot of people that come in just for the product that end up sharing with at least a couple people, you guys. And just imagine if everybody shared with 1 to 3, if everybody was a unique enroller, they may not be business builders like you guys, here on a Monday night, but if all your people shared with 1 to 3 people, look at how that would change your business. So
Yeah. And I have found by just tweaking some of the words instead of telling them about the business opportunity, explaining how they can get rebates, things like
mhm,
that, using words like that, referrals, rebates, people understand that kind of language and it's not scary. It doesn't make them feel like they have to have another job, but
mhm.
it can help them get, and everybody wants to get products free. Everybody loves discounts, sales, free products. Like that's just something that's universal. So I think, I feel like it's our job to share that with everyone we talk to. Do you do a lot of one-on-one coffee shop meetings? Do you do more groups? Like where do you use your time most or whatever it?
Yeah, I don't do a really kind of wherever, but I don't know that I do a ton of one-on-ones. I mean, like when I try to utilize my time when I'm in the city. So like last Wednesday, and people that live in that town would laugh that I called it a city because it's not really a city, but it's a city to me. But like I met with the doctor at 9:30 in the morning that I've been working with and did like an hour of strategy with her. And then at 10:30, we had like 6 of her people come in that she had already enrolled that were product users just to show them how to get it paid for. And then at 12:30 that day, I met a friend from church. We drive like an hour each way to church. That's where we go to church in that town. So I met a lady that I go to church with, to share with her about the opportunity and about the products because she's a nurse practitioner. And I'm like, I wanted her to see it. I'm really trying to work more with a lot of people that have networks versus individuals. And that's been working. So I met with her for lunch, and so that was a one-on-one, and showed her the information. And then that afternoon, I drove an hour past there and met with Tiffany, a gal on our team, and did a meeting for her. So that one day I was able to get so much done. So it let me just be gone one day from home. And I was still back that night, but get all of that done in a day. So we do a lot. I do a lot on Zoom, like for team members that live, further away. But as much as I can do in person, I like to do. And I just had another lady from Arizona say, I'd much rather do Zooms than drive like you drive. And I'm like, I understand that, but for me, it's like, I want to know, like, I want to know your kids' names. I want to know the color of your carpet. Like, I want people to know that I'm invested in them. It's a totally different response than just doing a Zoom, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, and Zooms have, they've definitely played a really powerful role over the last few years, but there's nothing like that in-person excitement. It's just incredibly contagious.
Yeah, and people want to be together again, is what I find where I am, at least, especially like for me, like a mom of four kids, like my whole life revolves around like we have a music concert, we have this, we have that. So like people like getting out doing something that doesn't, I like getting out doing something that doesn't involve my children, even though I'm bringing my child with me on the cruise on this weekend, but I'm going to need a vacation from the Isogenics
From the
vacations.
vacation, yeah.
I'm
All
going to
right,
give him
so
to Scott, let Scott take care of him.
Scott'll love it. He'll play with him, teach him Chinese. All right, so let's talk action. So, we've got two groups of people on this call. Some newer people that haven't even been to their first big event yet, and then we have seasoned people who have been with me for 12 years that are executives. So
Uh-huh.
first, and I think pretty much it's the same for both new people and people that have been around for a while. What I'd love for you to share is what action steps do you feel people need to take if they really want, they're here on it for a business training, so obviously they're all doing this to make money. So
Uh-huh.
what do you feel are the action steps that you do day in and day out consistently that
Uh-huh.
they need to do if they're not doing already?
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is print down your executive chart, whether you're new, whether you've been in for a long time. Um, that's my first suggestion. And what you want to do is you want to do reach outs. You want to follow up with people. You want to make contacts. And I try to do as much as I can through duplication. And by saying that, I mean use the tools. So just for example, today I reached out to a guy that we know, and he's used the products before when he was like in college, and now he's like an adult, and he's a chiropractor and owns his own place. I haven't spoken to him in years, but I just left him a voice message on Messenger. I try to do anything I can with my voice so they can hear the excitement. And I was just like, James, I'm so excited. I know you struggle with a lot of joint discomfort, and so does Justin, because my husband played college football years ago, and James knows that. And so I said, Justin's been using, because we've been able to use the joint support for like a month that we had from the fall. So I said, Justin used the joint support and felt such a difference. I would love if you could just give me 30 minutes. I'd love to share with you a little bit more about where the products are now and what kind of opportunity there is for you. So I'm still, you guys, doing reach outs. And there's like a mom that I've met through social media that I think she's super cool. She lives in Colorado and she's got four kids. Actually, I think she has five now. And like she's always working out. And so I messaged her this morning because I know she follows me. I follow her, and just said, hey, this is the happy mix. This is the perimenopause potion, whatever you want to call it, that we use every morning. It's these three things. And I made a video of me mixing it. And I wouldn't do this with everybody, Cindy, but like I know she could crush this if she did it. And I just said, if I was open to mailing you like a week's worth of just these three things together, would you be open to trying it? Like, and giving me your opinion on it? And she messaged me back right away, yes. And I said, can I get your address? And she sent me her address. So like, it's just that's what I mean, whatever it takes. Like, I'm just always trying to find new people to reach out with, to follow up with. When I was new, it was so much easier. If you're new, I think it's, you have your whole list of people. And I talk to everybody, you guys. I talk to people. I always say, if you're gonna get married again tomorrow, if your son or daughter was gonna get married tomorrow, who would you invite? Like, I talk to everyone. And if people say no, just, you have to realize that it has nothing to do with you. They are just not interested in isogenics. As soon as you can get there, like soft heart, thick skin, just whatever. Like if people say no, I'm like, okay, next, okay, next. Like, and I just talk to the next person. But so I made my list, Cindy, when I was new, just like everybody. And then I took my executive chart out and I penciled in people like that I knew Could use it. So like if I, put Taylor on here and then I'm like, okay, who are two people that Taylor knows? He might know, his buddy Jim and his mom, Sarah. And I wrote two names in for him. So I try to help my people pencil in names for their executive chart. And if you're a new executive, just means 10 people who are eating the food, who all have two people eating the food. So just think about it like this. You open a restaurant and it has like 10 high top round tables, right? And I invite Dana and Linda and Tiffany. I invite 10 of my friends in to eat. And just think about who would they bring with them if they were coming to my restaurant. It isn't 30 people who want to build a business and make money like you do, maybe. It's just 10 people who want to eat the food, who know two people who'll eat the food. And that's how I think about executive. That's how I build executive. And so yeah, that's what we do. And that's what I teach. And we do the same thing. So I take those executive charts everywhere with me. That's the mindset I have. Whenever the company, announces promotions or things like that, I immediately draw out all the qualifications and I start to fill them in myself. The same idea of like, okay, I know I need this many managers. These are the people I know I could enroll. And then I drew out, who their two people would be and who their two people would be. Like today they announced it. I literally already drew my 20 squares, drew my 4 managers, like so that I can I'm super visual, so that I can start seeing what I need to do and what I need to fill in. So yeah, and I think it helps people. The executive chart helps because you can put it on paper. And like this is one of my personal enrollments hit executive last night, actually. So we were super excited about that. But this was her chart. So like I do them for my people too. And
Mhm.
then like when they hit it, I highlight it. So I would just, and the actions are reach outs. You reach out, you're always connecting, always connecting. If you're not connecting, you don't have a business. You have to connect with people and follow up with people and help your people to do the same thing. Because most people don't know how to do it. So if you don't know how to do it, that's great. 'Cause you have Cindy and Dana and people that have been around a long time. They're going to help you um, learn how to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, how about people that have gone for executive, missed their rank advancement bonuses, and are discouraged? What encouragement can you give them? Because I feel like we focus so much of our energy on being paid as executive, getting there and staying paid as executive. I've never fallen out, Hillary. I mean, I never ever. It's such a priority to me, and it's hard to get that across to everybody, the importance of it. And I think people think it's harder than it actually is. I mean, you basically just said you need 30 people that eat. You don't need 30 business builders. You don't even need
Mhm.
10. So for people that have had some discouragement with that, what encouragement can you give them?
I would just say, just you just got to keep going. You just have to not quit. I mean, it's no different. My daughter runs the 300 hurdles. It's like if you don't, that's like the hardest race. Like at the end, you just want to quit because you're so tired. And it's like you just don't quit. Like last year, she had a heat stroke, and literally, Cindy, she finished the race and she was crying. And I said, "What were you telling yourself?" I could see her mouth moving. She goes, "I was just saying to myself out loud, don't quit, don't quit. You're almost there. Don't quit." And I'm like, okay, in that situation, you can quit. But it's like the same thing that I tell my people, like just like the mark you can miss the deadline, but the goal doesn't have to change. Like if you had a date, okay, I was going to do this by, whatever, April, whatever day we're on, April 28th, and you didn't do it by last night, who cares? Who cares? Just move the date back a little bit and stay focused on the goal. So if you missed it, it doesn't matter. Like, you're in your own race. You're not competing against Cindy or me. You're doing it, what you're trying to do for your family or for your whatever your goal is. So I would just encourage you to keep talking to people. And here's what you have to remember. Again, like 85%, you guys just start for the product. They do not start for the business. So when you enroll people, you need to coach them so they have results so that they will tell two people. And it's also what you're saying to them. Like that nurse practitioner from lunch, her name is Rochelle. She messaged me tonight because she didn't order that day. She wanted to talk to Chris, her husband. And she messaged me and said, okay, I think I'm ready to order. I said, great. Just like we talked about, because I showed her, you share, they share. I said, you don't have to share with anybody right now, but if you have some accountability partners, it will help. Is your sister or Chris ready to enroll with you? And so I'm always like putting it in their ear, like, who are a couple people? And so when she orders tonight, I said, well, I'm going to help you have results. And when you do, then I'll help you share with a couple more people. So I'm always taking those customers and thinking, because I have a lot, I mean, some of our best team members, best business builders were customers that had no interest in doing this. Like I came in wanting to do the opportunity, but a lot of people don't. And so, really coaching them and putting that in their head, like proactively, like, who do you know? Who are a couple people? Things like that. And then
Yeah.
also another thing I do is if you guys have customers that have ordered for more than a month, more than a couple months, look in your tree and look how many people they have below them. So like I might look up Taylor's account and he's got, you know, 8 people below him. And I can now call him and say, hey, Taylor, look, if you just share with a couple of people, you're going to start to get paid on these 8 people that the team and I have put in. And people are like, oh, really? Like, I didn't understand I got paid on other people's enrollments. So I do that a lot as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you guys take one thing away from this call, I hope you hear how she just assumes people are interested in taking the next step. She assumes
Mhm.
they're going to place their order. She has a sense of urgency about it. And she also has a mindset of whatever it takes, whatever it takes. I'm not going to quit, whatever it takes. And that's why I love her so much. Well, any parting words before I let you go? I'm going to stay on team. I'm going to do some recognition, but any parting words to the team, Hilari, before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, I just, whatever your goal is, like I said, I mean, I would just encourage you to just, Jimmy Smith said to me, 18 years ago, just don't quit. The only people that fail in this business are the ones that quit. And I have some of my leaders that it took them 12 years to hit $1 million in earnings. And I have some of my leaders and it took them 3 years to hit $1 million in earnings. And I have some that have been in the 18 years and they haven't hit it yet. But I would just encourage you to think about like if you have a career that you're in right now, how long will it take you in that career to earn that amount? So you don't just think, oh, Isagenix didn't work, so I tried it for this short period of time. Like it's just food. You're going to eat no matter what. So there's never a reason to not order. And that's the same thing, Cindy, that I, try to teach my team is just like eat the food, and teach your people to do the same thing and really think about it like that. It's just 30 people who are going to eat a better breakfast. So if you know 30 people in your cell phone who are going to eat like I had my shake today, but I also had oatmeal. I'm an oatmeal girl. So like think about people that are eating a different breakfast and just say to them, just eat a better breakfast, just one meal a day, or so many people use energy drinks. Like my son is 17, all of his buddies use energy drinks. And I'm always dumping them out when they come over here and giving them a beer. And so it's like I do, I'm always like, that's gonna make you sterile, drink this. And so like they just don't bring energy drinks to our house anymore. But it's like just all the things, you guys, we have such an opportunity right now. There's so many people with our economy the way it is that are praying for an answer to their finances, praying for an answer to their health, and we have the solution. But you have to be bold enough to share with people, hey, look, this might be the answer you've been looking for. So
That's so awesome. Well, I adore you. I can't wait to see you and your son on the cruise this weekend. Thank you for being with us tonight and
you're
imparting your wisdom
welcome.
on us. And we really appreciate you. I hope you read the messages in the chat, Hilary, before you hop off.
Okay, I will.
All
Hey,
right.
Brenda, I want to say hi to Brenda too. It's good to see you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Thanks so much. Okay, team, don't hop off. I just want to do some very quick recognition before we hop off. And I hope you enjoyed the call tonight with Hilary. She's definitely just one of the best leaders you'll ever see. I wanted to celebrate all of those of you who did participate in the share and enrolled 3 people last month. Now, what I don't know, there wasn't a report to tell me if the 3 that you enrolled did 100 BV and were on subscription. So I'm just going to announce everyone that had 3 or more, and I'm not 100% sure of the stats on if they're all on subscription, but I'm assuming they are. So first up, Mark and Tiffany Keller, Diane Siebold, Lasting Looks, Sally Warner, Taylor Peters, Sarah and David Barnsworth, Evan excuse me, Jody and Randy Whitaker, Megan Wilson, and Lori Olson all had 3. Zach Whitaker had 4. Jacqueline Wheeler had 4. Susan Wheeler had 5. Lori Olson had 6. Pam Sherman 7. Gina and Bill Gillen 7. Tiffany and Mark Keller again, so second account 8. Kelly and Josh Heinbach 9, Lisa and Bob Maciel 9, Erica and Matt Zinman 10, Dana Randazzo 15, and Ann Baranti 36. So congratulations, you guys. That is just outstanding. And what I want you guys to remember is We don't need special incentives to do that. Really, 20% commission on first orders is huge. 10% on orders after that is huge. The team builders bonus is such a great thing for us to really do a great job with our customer service, to keep people excited about reordering products. Talk to everybody about that. Talk to everybody about the $100 product coupons. I love to tell people, if Dana B gets going with me on collagen, and that's what she's most excited about. I'll say, hey, Dana, if you stay on this collagen and you order it every single month, every 16 weeks, you're going to get a $100 product coupon. Maybe with that, you can treat yourself to the skincare. So I'm always trying to get people to think outside the box. If they come on for weight loss, then maybe I'll talk to them about collagen to use their coupon for that. Great for retention, guys. $100. I know some of you have been around when we had twice that and it was $200, but $100 is nothing to complain about. That is still a really great deal. How many other companies do you order from that gives you $100 back every 16 weeks for being faithful to them? My grocery stores don't do that. My athletic fit clothes don't do that. No one does that. So utilize that really, really well. I am so excited for all of you guys that earned the cruise, those that can be with us and those that can't, will miss you, but so proud of you all. And congrats to everyone who earned in the share bonus. Don't forget, they announced the elite trip today. If you have not seen the details on that and you want to check that out, go to isogenicsbusiness.com for the video and all the details on that. And we will see you here next Monday night, guys. Have a great night. Thank you. Bye, y'all.